I'd be lying if I said I didn't have any reservations when OnePlus became an Oppo sub-brand. How's this gonna play out? Are prices gonna go up? Are they gonna lose sight of what made OnePlus attractive to end consumers in the first place? And then some choices Oppo made soon after, like the OnePlus 10 Pro's pricing or the removal of the alert slider, these choices just increased my apprehension. With the OnePlus 11R though, they seem to have rolled all that back, for the moment at least. With this phone, they seem to have gotten the basics right. The 11R feels very OG OnePlus, on paper at least. I mean, it has excellent flagship specs, it's built solid, there's decent optics, and all that is presented at a very competitive price point. So in today's video, let's take a look at what is actually going on with the OnePlus 11R. Hey guys, this is Ash here from C4E Tech and let's get started. Now before we proceed, a quick request: if you're on Telegram, use the link in the description to join the C4E Tech channel so that you can keep track of all my new uploads. So what do you think about this idea of playing the unboxing in a split screen as I introduce the video? I mean, I think we're all at a point where we know what's there in the box pretty much, right? You think it's a good idea to continue doing unboxings this way, or do you think I should go back to talking you through the unboxing? If you have the time, let me know in the comments below. Okay, getting back to the video on hand, the 11R, it feels very much like a OnePlus 11. Now this is not something we can say about its predecessor. The OnePlus 10R was a totally different phone compared to other phones in the OnePlus 10 series. The specs, the design language. If you didn't know a lot about tech, you might not even realize both these phones are from the same family. And that is not the case here. The 11 and the 11R, they look unmistakably similar. But of course, being the less expensive option, there are some differences. What you ask? Let's see. With the 11R, we get the older Gorilla Glass 5, so no Victus here. While the back appears identical, the 11R has a smoother finish compared to the 11. And the sides, they're plastic on the 11R, though the alert slider is included this time. In fact, OnePlus has surprisingly even included an IR blaster. Now that is not something you find on the OnePlus 11 or any other OnePlus phone usually. There's even a first-party app that lets you control TVs or air conditioners, whatever you want to control with this IR blaster. Weirdly, the changes to the build materials haven't really affected the overall footprint of the phone. Yes, technically the 11R is 0.3mm taller, 0.2mm thicker and wider when compared to the OnePlus 11, but practically it doesn't make any difference. I could use the same included case with either phone and the fit, as you can see, it's perfect. Even from a weight perspective, there's almost no difference. Do know that the IP64 rating that you find on the 11, that's not available here. Now the next cosmetic change is with this camera array. Now on the 11R, this area, it's plastic. The Hasselblad logo is gone too, and when you look closer underneath the glass, you can see the pattern slightly differs. That said, the primary camera sensor, it's still the same, and despite the lack of Hasselblad's color tuning, the results, they are incredibly close. Not surprising since both phones are using the same 50-megapixel Sony IMX890 sensor, which has been paired with an optically stabilized f1.8 lens. So basically the primary camera does very well even under low light, as you can see here. Video for some reason is capped at 4K 60 FPS since the chip inside is definitely capable of 8K. We've seen that on a lot of phones. Now I'm not really sure why this limitation exists. 4K 60 footage though seems to be really good. The secondary cameras are where we are seeing some cost cutting at play. We get an 8-megapixel ultra-wide on the 11R, which isn't quite as good as the 48-megapixel sensor on the OnePlus 11. It's still serviceable and produces decent images. The third sensor though, it is a token 2-megapixel macro, and there's not really much for me to say about that. The selfie camera, it's once again a 16-megapixel sensor. It does a decent job and is at the center instead of off to one corner. Personally, I prefer selfie cameras tucked away to the side. What about you? Let me know in the comments if you can. Now the other biometric option is the fingerprint scanner that's underneath the display. OnePlus seems to have lowered the placement of this one, and I am not a fan. I feel the placement on the OnePlus 11, that was kind of perfect. It was very easy to just reach when you are holding the phone. It was very natural, and over here it's just a little too low. Not the end of the world, but still. Anyways, now talking about the display, we get another 6.7-inch 1.5K AMOLED panel here. Like I said in my last video, with a Full HD panel, we get 1080 pixels this way. Now with Quad HD, that goes up to 1440. Over here, we get a middle ground of sorts. We get 1240 pixels, making for a pixel density of about 450 pixels per inch, which is very good, very sharp. This panel also has support for HDR10+ and a brightness peak of 1450 nits, so it's easy to use outdoors. This display, it curves to the edges, which is something some find premium, and while it lacks the latest LTPO capabilities of the OnePlus 11, it does support ADFR 2.0, which means it can switch between 40 to 120 Hz automatically in order to be more efficient. Now, talking about efficiency, the battery capacity has gone up compared to the 10R. We now get a 5000 mAh battery on this guy, and that paired with the 100-watt SuperVOOC charger we saw earlier, the 11R, it can reach 50% charge in under 10 minutes and full charge in just 25. Very respectable, very good. Oppo's battery health engine also returns, and we even have their SuperVOOC S chipset included. This chipset uses 13 temperature sensors to monitor the charging and helps ensure it doesn't affect other aspects of phone usage. For example, say you're gaming. It helps optimize charging speeds to prevent heat from being built up and adversely affecting performance. That's something it stops. And as for the performance itself, the OnePlus 11R is powered by Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 SoC, which, yes, it is a step below the 8 Gen 2, which is what we find on the OnePlus 11. It is still a very powerful chip and can run pretty much anything you throw at it smoothly. Now this chip, it is paired with up to 16 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and 256 gigs of UFS 3.1 storage. OnePlus also provides a 3D cooling system to make sure the temps are kept in check, and Oxygen OS 13 built atop Android 13 runs very smoothly here. They promised 3 years of Android version updates and 4 years of security patches for this phone. The linear X-axis motor is another thing worth bringing up here because the haptics, they feel crisp and it just improves the overall experience for the end user. With the RAM Beta option that OnePlus has, the claim is that you can have up to 44 apps open in memory. Now that's an insane amount of apps to have open. The gaming related tweaks that we've seen on the OnePlus 11 are also present and accounted for. There's really not a lot new with the software. What you need to know here is that the experience, it feels excellent, just as good as you'd find on the OnePlus 11. And with that said, let's now move on to the pricing. In India, this phone is priced under 40,000 rupees. Now, are there compromises compared to the OnePlus 11? Yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, OnePlus seems to have focused on all the right things with the OnePlus 11R. It definitely feels like a OnePlus 11 series phone. It's got a great in-hand feel, very solid internals, good optics, an excellent display, a high-capacity battery, and a very fast charger that's included right in the box. And all this at a super competitive price. I can't wait to test this phone in detail, and I'll have more to say in my full review. For now, color, me impressed. So what do you think about the OnePlus 11R? Let me know in the comments below. And with that, we are at the end of today's quick little video. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Until next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.